Intro. In the heart of Amici, Enugu, the Okafor family once basked in prosperity, their name whispered with reverence. But beneath the glimmer of success, envy and betrayal brewed within, tearing apart the very fabric of love and loyalty. This is the story of Olisaemeka, the golden child whose rise to fame ignited darkness in his own home. As his family's pride turns into a battlefield of manipulation and deceit, the cost of envy becomes clear. Will love and truth triumph over the curse of greed? This tale of betrayal, redemption, and the bonds of blood reveals that sometimes, the greatest enemy lies within. Please subscribe to this channel and turn on your notifications bell. Don't forget to hit the like button and share with your family and friends. The harmattan breeze that morning in Amici, Enugu South, carried both dust and dreams. The Okafor compound stood proudly at the edge of the red earth road, its zinc roofs glittering in the sun like old silver. It was a house that had once known laughter, the sound of 7 children chasing goats, their mother's voice calling from the backyard, and their father, Pa Okafor, sitting under the mango tree, counting bales of tobacco and plotting his next land deal. Pa Okafor had been a man of wisdom and hustle. In his prime, he had made a fortune trading tobacco across Enugu and Nsukka axis. He was also a registered estate and land agent, well known among the elites and titled men. Life had smiled on him. He trained his first 5 children through higher institutions, a rare privilege in the 80s and 90s. His eldest son, Chukwuma, later found his way abroad after winning a visa lottery. That move changed the destiny of the Okafor family. When Chukwuma began sending money home, the Okafor name started echoing across the community again. The family compound wore new paint, the younger ones began attending better schools, and even the local pastor used to mention them during testimony time. Their father had aged, but pride still glowed in his wrinkled face each time he heard, "Ah, the Okafors. Na correct family be that." But the story that would change everything started from their last born, Olisaemeka, the golden child of the family. Olisa was a star from the beginning. Tall, dark, handsome, and full of charm, he was not just brilliant but a gifted footballer. The whole village knew him as Captain Olisa. Every Christmas, during the village football tournament, it was his name the crowd shouted. Olisa. Number 10. Give them fire. He captained the Amici Lions for several years, leading them to victories that made the youths sing his praises. He was a dreamer, the type that would sit on the field after training, gazing into the horizon, imagining a life bigger than the dusty pitch of Enugu South. His mother, Mama Grace, always said, "My son, I know say you go bring light to this family. You get star way no fit hide." And truly, the star began to shine brighter when Chukwuma, the eldest brother, invited him to Mexico. The journey was not easy. For months, the family battled with papers, passports, and connections. But finally, one humid evening, the Okafor compound gathered as Olisa boarded a bus to Lagos. His mother wept uncontrollably, clutching his photograph to her chest. His father, already frail with age, simply said, "Go, my son. No forget say your name mean God is with me." In Mexico, Olisa's life took a new turn. He joined a semi-professional football club and began to earn modestly. His talent spoke for him, the way he moved on the field, the way he scored, the way people chanted his name, Olisa. El Negro de Fuego. The Black Fire. Within 3 years, he was playing for better clubs and sending money home. He never forgot his roots. He started investing back home through Nkechi, his eldest sister, and Obinna, his third brother who worked as a banker in Enugu. He bought plots of land in Independence Layout, Trans-Ekolu, and even in his village. At 26, he had already built a mansion, a modern duplex with tall gates, shining tiles, and water tanks that glittered under the sun. Whenever he came home during Christmas, people gathered at his compound just to see how the Mexico boy day live life. The elders of Amici used to whisper, "That boy na blessing to him papa house." But blessings sometimes attract envy, and envy, if fed, turns to poison. Among all his siblings, Nkechi was the loudest and most opinionated. The first daughter, married with 4 daughters and 1 son. Her husband, Ifani, was a calm man who worked as a civil servant in Aka. Nkechi had always enjoyed being the big sister, the one others came to for advice or approval. She was used to being in control. But now, something was changing. Olisa, the once small boy, was becoming the pride of the family. The money, the attention, the respect. They were all going to him. People had started saying, "Na Olisa be the pillar of Okafor family now," and that sentence began to burn inside her like fire. At first, it was small jealousy. Then it became resentment. She noticed that Obinna, the banker, handled most of Olisa's money and investments. Nkechi didn't like it. One night, while complaining to her friend at a women's meeting, she said, "So this small boy go just day grow wings because him day Mexico. He no even day send me anything again unless I beg. I go show em say blood no be water." Her friend laughed nervously. "Nkechi, I beg calm down, na your brother." But Nkechi shook her head. "You no understand. I be firstborn. I no fit day beg small Pekin way I carry for back." That night, as harmattan wind howled outside, a dark thought took root in her heart, and from that thought, her steps began to draw toward the house of a native doctor at the outskirt of Nkana land. Back in Mexico, Olisa's life was blooming, but sometimes he felt uneasy. He couldn't explain it: occasional strange dreams, shadows of confusion, sudden anger over small issues. Yet, each time he spoke with Nkechi on the phone, her voice calmed him. "Olisa my baby boy," she would say in that honeyed tone. "No mind anybody na me you go trust. I go help you handle things for house." He believed her completely. She was his sister, the same woman who carried him as a baby, the same sister who used to fight for him when they were young, turned into manipulation, and care had turned into control. By the time he decided to come home in 2018 for a long visit, the Okafor compound was buzzing again. Mama Grace, though older, couldn't hide her joy. "My Pekin Don come back. My world traveler," she shouted, dancing in front of the gate. Olisa hugged her titlture. He didn't know that love had and laughed, but in that laughter was a strange weight, the kind that only destiny can explain. He had no idea that the path he had started walking, paved with success and family pride, would soon lead into a dark tunnel of betrayal, charms, and tears. And somewhere, in a small clay pot buried behind Nkechi's backyard, his name was already tied to a piece of red cloth soaked in blood. The Lagos sun had no mercy that Tuesday afternoon. Its heat bounced off the tarmac at Murtala Muhammad International Airport, making even the shadows sweat. Among the crowd of travelers and airport workers, Olisaemeka walked tall in his designer shirt, sunglasses perched on his nose, pulling a silver suitcase behind him. He had returned from Mexico again, full of plans, full of hope. His flight had landed early, and as he made his way toward the car park, something caught his eye, or rather, someone. A slim young lady, dressed in a faded blue cleaner's uniform, stood by the terminal glass door, struggling with a mop bucket. Her face glistened with sweat, her eyes carrying both innocence and pain. For a moment, Olisa forgot the noise of the airport. Her name was Nena. She was cleaning near the exit when Olisa's wristwatch accidentally brushed her arm. "Ah. Sorry, sir," she said quickly, bowing slightly. Olisa smiled, his deep baritone voice disarming her instantly. "No waala, my sister. You want you sir kill me. My name na Olisa." She laughed shyly, surprised by his friendliness. "I no fit call you by name just like that. You look like person way own the airport. Airport ko." He chuckled. "Na only one small ticket I buy But I like your spirit." Something sparked in that moment, the kind of connection that doesn't need many words. Before he left, he asked for her phone number. Nena hesitated. "Sir, I no day give my number anyhow. But the gentle way he smiled melted her caution. She scribbled it down on a piece of paper, their fingers brushing slightly. Neither of them knew they were from the same village, only different kindreds. Destiny had set the stage, love was about to play its bittersweet music. For the next few weeks, Olisa called her every night. Their conversations stretched deep into the night, about dreams, struggles, and life. He was drawn not only by her beauty but by her humility and strength. Nena, orphaned at 16, had grown up fighting to survive. Her mother had died 3 years after her birth, and her father had passed long before that. She and her 3 sisters had struggled through life, barely feeding, barely living. She was the only one who managed to finish secondary school. She had come to Lagos to live with one of her late mother's distant relatives, Auntie Ife, who treated her more like a servant than family. Working at the airport was her only source of hope, and the small pay, her only pride. So, when this gentle, confident man from abroad started showing her care, it felt like light entering a room long sealed in darkness. "Olisa, you sure say you know dey play me?" she once asked. He laughed. "Nena, for where? I don see plenty women abroad, but your heart different. I no go lie, you dey make me think of home differently." Within months, their relationship grew serious. When Olisa traveled back to Enugu, he couldn't stop talking about her. His mother listened quietly, smiling at the mention of her son's happiness. "Bring her home, my son," Mama Grace said. "If your heart say na she, then let God guide you." A few weeks later, Olisa returned to Lagos with his elder sister, Nkechi, to formally meet Nena's relatives for the introduction. Nena, overwhelmed with joy, couldn't believe it. Life was finally changing. But even during that visit, Nkechi's attitude began to show. She looked at Nena from head to toe, her lips tightening. "So now this one marry my brother?" she whispered to Olisa later. "She fine, yes, but be like say she no get background. You sure say you check well?" Olisa frowned. "Sister Nkechi, a beg no start. I love her." "Love no day cook soup," Nkechi said sharply. "You better use your head before person use em for you." But in truth, it wasn't concern that spoke through Nkechi, it was possession. She had grown too used to controlling Olisa's life and money. The thought of another woman taking that place filled her with silent rage. Preparations for the wedding began almost immediately. Nkechi positioned herself as the head planner. "Since I be the first daughter," she said proudly, "Nami go handle everything. Nena no get family way fit plan anything." At first, Nena was relieved, she thought it was love. But she was wrong. Nkechi made sure she controlled every detail, the wedding gown, the food, even the guest list. She would collect huge sums from Olisa, claiming it was for high-quality materials, but end up buying cheap and inferior things for Nena. Each time Nena complained, Nkechi would snap. "A beg, small girl like you no suppose talk when elders day plan. If no be say I help you, who for marry USEF?" Even when Nena tried to pick her own wedding gown, Nkechi stopped her. "You go wear this one," she said, throwing a dull cream-colored gown on the bed. "No be only you day marry." Nena swallowed her tears. She had no one to defend her, no father, no mother, not even a relative bold enough to confront Nkechi. So she endured it quietly, praying each night that God would make her marriage sweet, that her husband would see the love in her heart. The wedding day came, bright, crowded, noisy. The church was packed, people from the village traveled down. Music filled the air, and cameras flashed like lightning. But behind the glamour, Nena's heart was heavy. She noticed how Nkechi gave orders to everyone, even to Olisa. "Olisa, stand there. You know Sabi smile. Ah, you want disgrace me." Even during the traditional wine carrying, Nkechi intercepted the cup meant for Olisa's mother, claiming to help. She wanted every eye to see her as the pillar of the family. When Nena finally found her chance to whisper to Olisa, her voice trembled. My husband, I know too happy with the way your sister day do. Olisa smiled faintly, brushing it off. No mind her. Nah her way be that. She get good heart inside. But deep down, Nena knew something wasn't right. Every blessing she received that day felt like a warning wrapped in music. After the ceremony, Nkechi ensured she moved into Olisa's new mansion with them, to help the new couple settle. She controlled the kitchen, the house keys, even the driver. Whenever Nena wanted to cook, Nkechi would say, "A beg leave kitchen for person way sabi. You fit go rest small." Soon, Olisa began to defer every decision to his sister. "Nne, if you need anything, tell sister Nkechi. She day handle everything now." And Nena, though married, began to feel like a stranger in her own home. Each day, her voice grew smaller, her laughter faded. One night, as rain poured outside, she knelt beside her bed, tears dropping onto her wrapper. "God, what'n I do?" she whispered. "Why my husband day treat me like say I no exist? Why everything passed through his sister? I no even fit choose when to eat or sleep." Her cries echoed through the mansion's cold walls. Nkechi, in her room down the hall, smiled faintly as she looked into her mirror, a small mirror wrapped with red thread, the kind native doctors use for control. "Sleep, Olisa," she murmured softly. "You go always listen to me. Always." Outside, the thunder rolled again, as if the heavens themselves were warning that the peace of the Okafor family had just been traded for darkness. Rain had just finished falling in Enugu, and the red earth outside the Okafor mansion was glistening like palm oil under the early morning sun. The birds chirped softly in the mango trees, but inside the compound, peace was a stranger. Nena sat quietly by the window of their bedroom, a wrapper tied loosely around her chest, staring blankly into space. Her face had lost the glow it once carried. The joy that once danced in her eyes had dimmed into silence. It was barely 2 months after their marriage, but the home already felt like a battlefield she was destined to lose. From the kitchen, the sharp voice of Nkechi echoed. "Nena! You still never sweep this place. You want turn this house to dunghill." Nena sighed, stood up, and hurried to the kitchen. "Sister Nkechi, I don't sweep I just want clean the table small." "Clean weddin'? You no sabi anything. You think say because you marry man way get money, mean say you don't reach my level." Olisa, meanwhile, was in the living room scrolling through his phone. The housemaid approached him shyly. "Sir, Madam Nena day cry for room last night," she said quietly. Olisa frowned. "Cry? Weddin' make her cry?" Before the girl could reply, Nkechi stormed in, tying her headscarf tight. "A beg, make nobody put nonsense for my brother head. That girl just lazy. I don tell her make she learn how to manage house but she day form big madam." She hissed loudly. "Na wa oh. Some women no sabi gratitude." Olisa's face hardened. "You sure say she no day disrespect you, nke? Disrespect ku? She no even fit open mouth talk where I day. Okay. I go talk to her." But his talk that evening came out differently. He entered their bedroom, his face stern. "Nne, why you day give my sister headache? She day try for you. You suppose day appreciate her?" Nena looked at him with watery eyes. "Olisa, I no do anything. I just day try my best. I no even fit decide what I go cook again without her permission. Even the car you buy for me, she don carry comet since 3 days now." "Ah. Nne, no start this talk again oh. That car na for family use, no be say na only your own. But she day drive go work every day. And so? Na my sister she be. A beg, no day jealous." He stormed out, slamming the door. Nena sat there, broken. She could feel it, something beyond human hand was turning her husband against her. A few weeks later, things got worse. Nkechi began controlling everything in the house, the money, the food, the decisions. She even dictated when Nena could leave the house. Sometimes, she would deliberately tell Olisa lies about his wife. "Olisa, you sure say that girl no day planned something with that driver?" "Driver? How you mean?" "Nah, me I see them day talk near gate yesterday." "You fit ask her yourself." And just like that, doubt crept into Olisa's heart like smoke through a keyhole. He began watching Nena suspiciously, snapping at her for no reason, accusing her of things she never did. One evening, while she was feeding him at the dining table, he pushed the plate away. "Stop forcing me food like small Pekin. Wouldn't be all this." "But, Olisa, you never chop since mornin'. I say leave me." Nkechi, watching from a corner, hid her smile behind a sip of juice. The charm was working perfectly. At night, Nena would sit outside, gazing at the moon, whispering prayers. The compound dogs often barked without reason, as if they saw things humans couldn't. Sometimes she would hear strange footsteps near the mango tree, faint whispers, or the sound of anklets when no one was outside. Fear lived in her heart like a stubborn tenant. Mama Grace, Olisa's mother, began to sense that something spiritual was wrong. One afternoon, she came to visit her son. "Olisa, my Pekin, I know like when I day see for this house," she said gently. "Your wife Dawn turned shadow of herself. You know day look her again like before." Olisa frowned. "Mama, a beg o. Make nobody day carry gossip come here." "Gossip ku. I day tell you truth. Nkechi day overdo things. Allow your wife get small say for her home. Mama, no involve yourself for this matter oh. Nkechi day help me manage things. Nah she know how we day run things for house." Mama Grace's eyes filled with tears. So you take day talk to me now, Olisaemeka. You don't forget who raised you." He looked away, silent. She sighed deeply and left, shaking her head. As she walked to the gate, she noticed a small black calabash half buried in the flower bed near the compound fence. When she bent to look closer, a sudden chill ran through her body. The moment she tried to pick it, the housemaid ran up, shouting. "Mama no touch him oh. Madam Nkechi talk say make nobody touch that thing. She say get medicine inside." Mama Grace froze. Her hands trembled. "Medicine?" she whispered. "Or charm?" That night, she couldn't sleep. Something told her that the battle over her son's soul was not ordinary. Days turned into weeks. Nena fell sick often, losing weight and appetite. Nkechi accused her of pretending. "A beg, no day form sick. Na small housework go kill you." When Olisa returned from his business trip one evening, Nena tried to complain again. "My husband, please, I no fit live like this anymore. Your sister no day allow me breathe. N." He snapped. "So now you want make I choose between you and my blood? Over my dead body." He slapped the table so hard that the glass broke. Tears welled in Nena's eyes. "You don change, Olisa. This no be you again. The man way I marry no day treat woman like this. You don day talk too much. Better respect yourself before I show you say I be man." She fell silent, trembling. Nkechi, standing near the corridor, smiled faintly, whispering under her breath. "Good boy, Olisa. Good boy." But fate, as always, never lets evil go unchecked forever. One evening as Nkechi was preparing to travel back to Oka, she visited her native doctor in secret. The man, an old priest with chalk marks on his face, frowned as she entered. "Woman, the spirit of your mother day fight you," he said. "Which spirit again?" she asked, startled. "The one you offend through your brother. The charm way you use don begin fade. You must renew or everything go scatter." She nodded quickly. I go bring what you need. Just make sure Olisa no go ever hear the truth. The native doctor shook his head. You day play with fire, woman. Blood way mix with blood no day rest if ye see betrayal. Back in Enugu, Mama Grace's health began to fail. Each day, she grew weaker, her legs shaking when she walked. The stress of watching her family crumble was killing her slowly. One night, she called Nena to her bedside. My daughter, I know blind oh. I know wedding day happen. Nkechi day use dark power for your husband. But fear not, God day. Nena burst into tears. Mama, I know fit take em again. My husband Don turned stranger. Mama Grace held her hand firmly. Don't worry. The eyes of the wicked no go sleep forever. The juju had indeed tightened its grip, but something was shifting in the spirit. Olisa began having dreams, the same one, over and over. He would see himself inside a dark river, struggling to swim, while his mother's voice echoed, My son, open your eyes before it's too late. Each time he woke up, sweat drenched his body, but Nkechi's calls and manipulations would drown the confusion again. One Sunday morning, as the family prepared for church, Mama Grace suddenly collapsed in the sitting room. The house went into chaos. Olisa rushed her to the hospital, trembling as doctors tried to revive her. Diagnosis: stroke. She was paralyzed on one side, unable to talk clearly. Lying on the hospital bed, she held her son's hand and whispered faintly. Olisa. Open your eyes. Nkechi is killing you. Olisa froze, staring at his mother's trembling lips. His heart raced. For the first time, doubt entered like sunlight through a crack. Could it be true? Could his beloved sister be behind all this darkness? That night, as he sat alone by his mother's hospital bed, the moonlight shining through the window, he felt the weight of confusion pressing on him. Back at home, in the quiet of her room, Nkechi burned incense and whispered into her mirror again. Olisa must never remember. His heart belongs to me. But outside her window, an owl hooted 3 times, a bad omen in the land of Amici. And that was how the fire she fed began to turn against her. The hospital corridors smelled of antiseptic and sorrow. The rhythmic beep of the monitor beside Mama Grace's bed was the only sound breaking the silence. Olisa sat beside her, his elbows on his knees, eyes heavy with sleeplessness. His once vibrant mother now lay pale and frail, her right arm twisted from paralysis. Outside, rain began to fall again, slow, steady, and mournful, as though heaven itself was shedding tears for what was coming. Olisa couldn't shake off the words his mother had whispered before losing her voice completely. Nkechi is killing you. Those words echoed through his mind like a curse, chasing away sleep and peace. He rubbed his face and muttered. The hospital corridors smelled of antiseptic and sorrow. The rhythmic beep of the monitor beside Mama Grace's bed was the only sound breaking the silence. Olisa sat beside her, his elbows on his knees, eyes heavy with sleeplessness. His once vibrant mother now lay pale and frail, her right arm twisted from paralysis. Outside, rain began to fall again, slow, steady, and mournful, as though heaven itself was shedding tears for what was coming. Olisa couldn't shake off the words his mother had whispered before losing her voice completely. Nkechi is killing you. Those words echoed through his mind like a curse, chasing away sleep and peace. He rubbed his face and muttered, Be my sister. She no fit harm me. But something deep inside him refused to agree. He remembered the strange dreams, the sudden anger, the way he no longer felt like himself. Even the smell of his house sometimes felt heavy, like something unseen was sitting on his chest. Meanwhile, at home, Nkechi was restless. She had tried to call her brother all day, but he wasn't picking up. Her charm, the one tied to the red cloth, had suddenly stopped working. Each time she stared into her mirror to summon his face, all she saw was smoke and shadows. Fear began to creep in. She knew her power was weakening. The native doctor had warned her to renew the sacrifice, but she had delayed. That night, she packed her bag and traveled to Nkanu, to meet the old man again. His shrine was surrounded by palm trees and silence. When she entered, he didn't smile. "You come late," he said without looking up. "The spirits don't vex." "Baba, a beg help me," Nkechi pleaded. "The charm no day work again. My brother Don day suspect me. You know fit hold him again. The blood of your mother day stand between you and him." She Don begin pray from her hospital bed. "The gods no go allow your charm work as before." Nkechi dropped to her knees, sweating despite the cold. "So what I go do now?" "Go beg the woman before she die," he said bluntly. "If she die with anger, your own life go scatter like dry leaves." But Nkechi's pride was stronger than fear. "Beg? Me? That woman way always day look me like say I be snake. No way. I go handle am my own way." The old man sighed deeply. "You don choose your path. Remember say when fire catch goat ear, no day here again." Back in the hospital, Nena had not left Mama Grace's side for days. She washed her face, cleaned her body, and fed her small spoons of pap even when her hands trembled. Sometimes, Mama Grace would look at her with tears in her eyes, trying to speak, her lips quivering with words trapped in paralysis. "Shoof Mama," Nena would whisper softly, holding her hand. "No talk. God go heal you." But Mama Grace knew her time was short. She prayed in her heart that her son would open his eyes before she left this world. A few days later, Olisa finally decided to go home to pick a few things. The house was unusually quiet when he arrived. Nkechi's car wasn't in the compound. For the first time in months, the air felt lighter. He walked through the corridor and paused by his mother's old room. The scent of ojirishi leaves she used to hang by the window still lingered. Then he entered the backyard and saw something half buried by the flower bed, a small clay pot covered with soot. He bent down slowly, his heartbeat racing. The memory of his mother's warning came back. When he lifted the pot slightly, he saw a folded red cloth inside, tied with black thread. His name, Olisaemeka, was written on a piece of paper soaked with palm oil. His blood ran cold. "Jesus Christ!" he whispered. He picked it up carefully and went straight to the parish priest in the next street. The priest, Father Raymond, was a calm man in his 60s. When Olisa showed him the pot, the old man's face turned grave. "My son," he said, "this is not ordinary. Someone used this to tie your destiny. You have been living under bondage." Tears filled Olisa's eyes. "Father. My own sister. Evil knows no relation, my son. Go and free yourself through prayer. God still day." For the first time in years, Olisa went down on his knees that night, crying like a child. "God, forgive me. Forgive me for how I treat my wife. Forgive me for how I shame my mother. I done blind all this while." He called Nena at the hospital, sobbing over the phone. "My love. I don't see everything. I don't believe you now. I don't find where the charm day hide." Nena wept on the other end. "Oh God, thank you. Mama been talk him since. I go burn that thing tomorrow. I no go let darkness destroy my home again." But darkness had one more blow to strike before leaving. That night, as Mama Grace lay sleeping in the hospital, her breathing became shallow. The nurse ran in and called Olisa, who rushed down immediately. He held her trembling hand as the doctor tried to revive her. She opened her eyes faintly and whispered, her voice fragile but clear. "My son. Promise me one thing. No divorce your wife. If you do, you no go ever no peace." Nkechi. She be the cause. She tie your head for shrine. But God pass juju. Olisa sobbed, his tears falling on her arm. Mama, no talk like that. You go fine, please. I don't see my road already, she said softly. Tell her. Her evil no go last. I leave am for God. She struggled for breath, then took one last long sigh, and her hand went limp. Olisa screamed, shaking her gently. Mama! Mama, a beg. Wake up. But she was gone. Nena fell to the floor, crying uncontrollably. The nurses tried to comfort them, but even the walls of the hospital seemed to mourn that night. The news of Mama Grace's death spread quickly. The compound in Amici was filled with wails the next morning. When Nkechi heard, she dropped her phone, her heart pounding. She's dead? She asked her husband, her voice shaking. Yes, he said quietly. Your mother don die. I hope say you go see your brother now. But Nkechi couldn't move. Her legs felt weak. That night, when she tried to look into her charm mirror, she saw nothing, only the reflection of her mother's face, old and stern, staring back at her. Your wickedness don full, the voice in her head whispered. The ground go soon swallow your lies. She screamed and threw the mirror against the wall. It shattered into pieces. During the funeral, the compound overflowed with people. The church choir sang slow hymns as the coffin was lowered. Nena knelt beside the grave, crying uncontrollably. Olisa stood behind her, broken and ashamed. When it was time for final prayers, the priest asked the family to sprinkle sand. Nkechi stepped forward, her hands shaking. As she dropped her sand, thunder rumbled from nowhere, a sudden, loud crack that made everyone flinch. The priest paused, crossing himself. The heavens have spoken, he murmured. At that moment, a sudden wind blew through the compound, lifting dust and dry leaves. The villagers began to murmur. Na sign oh, one old woman whispered. Mama Grace don vex from her grave. Olisa turned and looked at Nkechi. For the first time, she couldn't meet his eyes. That evening, after everyone had gone, Olisa sat by his mother's grave under the dim glow of a lantern. The night was still, only the chirping of crickets around. He whispered through tears. Mama, I promise you. I go make things right. I go fight this evil. Nena joined him quietly, sitting beside him, her head on his shoulder. She love you too much, Nena said softly. Even when you hurt me, she never curse you. Olisa sniffed. I go make sure her death no waste. As they sat there, a faint breeze blew again, brushing against their faces, gentle, almost like a mother's hand wiping away their tears. But from the distance, under the shadows of the trees, a figure stood watching, Nkechi, her wrapper loosely tied, her eyes swollen with guilt and fear. She heard Olisa's promise and felt something snap inside her chest. Her mother's last words had become a curse that followed her home that night. When she reached her house in Oka, everything started falling apart. Her husband had packed his bags. I can't stay again, he said flatly. Every day na quarrel, every night na nightmare. You know be the woman I marry again. I day go. She fell to her knees. Ifani, a beg don leave me. He shook his head and walked out. That night, she couldn't sleep. Her children cried of stomach pain. By morning, her first daughter fainted. The next day, the second one confessed she was pregnant for a bus conductor. The third was caught stealing. Her world began to crumble, piece by piece, exactly as her mother had warned. Nkechi, once the most powerful voice in the Okafor family, now sat alone in darkness, muttering to herself. Mama, forgive me. A beg forgive me. But forgiveness had long gone with the wind. Back in Enugu, after the burial, Olisa destroyed every charm and fetish item he found in the house. He poured fuel on them and set them ablaze, watching the smoke rise into the night sky. Nena stood beside him, holding their baby boy. Don't end, he said quietly. Whatever darkness way bind this family, don't die with the fire. But the wind that blew that night carried both ashes and warning, for though curses may fade, the memory of pain lingers like smoke after a fire. The sun rose lazily over the rooftops of Amici, casting long orange streaks through the mist. It was the first Sunday after Mama Grace's burial. The compound still smelled of candle wax and tears. The mourners had gone, the hired canopies folded, but the silence that hung in the air was heavy, thick like unspoken pain. Olisa sat on the front veranda, staring at nothing in particular. The birds sang on the trees, but even their voices sounded sorrowful. Nena came out, carrying a tray of hot pap and akra. Her wrapper was tied loosely around her chest, her hair covered with a black scarf. "My husband," she said softly, placing the tray beside him, "you need to eat small. You haven't eaten since yesterday." Olisa shook his head slowly. "I no even get appetite, Nena." Mama's voice still day my ear. "That woman love me too much, yet I use my hand destroy her peace." Nena placed her hand gently on his shoulder. "She don't forgive you. Before she die, she tell me say make I no keep malice with you, say God go open your eyes one day." He turned to look at her, his eyes red. "And truly God open am. I just wish he happened before she die." A long silence fell between them. The only sound was the cry of a distant rooster. Then Olisa stood up suddenly. "Nena, I go Mexico next month." She looked startled. "Mexico? After all this?" "Yes. I want close some business and bring everything home. I want build something in mama name, a foundation for widows and poor children. That's the only way I fit make em proud." Nena smiled faintly through her tears. She go like that. While peace was slowly returning to Enugu, Nkechi's world was turning upside down in Awka. Her once bright face had lost its glow, her hair had fallen unevenly, and her eyes were swollen from crying. Her house was in chaos. Her husband was gone, her daughters had become the talk of the town, pregnant and hopeless. Her only son had joined bad boys who smoked under the bridge. Every morning, she sat outside her gate, muttering to herself. "Everything dawn scatter. Everything dawn scatter. Mama warned me. I know here." Her neighbors avoided her. They said her madness was punishment from her mother's spirit. The same woman who once controlled her brother's wealth now looked like a beggar in her own house. One evening, as the sun set behind the hills, Nkechi wandered into the bush path behind her house. She carried a small bag and muttered prayers mixed with apologies. "Mama, forgive me. Olisa, forgive me. I know no say Jew get limit." She reached the old shrine of the native doctor who had helped her before, but when she entered, she met only ashes and cobwebs. The man had died 2 months earlier. She fell to her knees and screamed into the empty air. "Baba! Baba, help me. I no want die like this." Only the echo of her voice answered her. When she returned home that night, she felt feverish. Her body burned as if fire was under her skin. By morning, she couldn't stand. Her eldest daughter ran to call the neighbors. They carried her to the hospital, but the doctor only shook his head. "Madam, she gets strange illness. No clear diagnosis." Nkechi lay on the bed, sweating and whispering nonsense. "Mama. Mama no vex. A beg." 3 days later, she died quietly in her sleep. When Olisa heard the news, he was in Mexico, finalizing a property sale. He froze when the call came through. His eyes went blank, his phone slipping from his hand. Nena rushed to him. "What is it?" "Nkechi. She's dead." For a long moment, neither of them spoke. Then tears rolled down Olisa's face, not of relief, but of sorrow. Even though she wicked, she still be my sister. Evil just use her head play. The following month, Olisa and Nena returned to Nigeria for the final burial rites. Unlike Mama Grace's funeral, the compound was quiet, almost empty. Many villagers refused to attend, they said the curse had finished its work. After the short service, Olisa stood over Nkechi's grave, his son strapped to his back. "Nkechi," he said softly, "you cause me pain way words no fit describe. But I still forgive you. Mama talk say forgiveness na healing. Rest well. Maybe in another life, we go start again without evil between us." The wind blew softly, lifting the dry leaves around him. Somewhere nearby, a child laughed, a sign that life goes on, no matter the scars. Months later, things began to change for Olisa. The company he established in Mexico grew stronger. He opened a football academy in Enugu in memory of his youth, calling it Grace Touch Sports Academy, named after his late mother. Young boys from the village came to train there, their dreams shining in their eyes. Every Sunday, Olisa and Nena would visit Mama Grace's grave. They would clean it, plant fresh flowers, and sit quietly for a while. Sometimes, Olisa would talk aloud as if she could hear him. "Mama, your Pekin day try. I know perfect, but I day do my best." And whenever he said those words, a soft wind would pass by, gentle, peaceful, like the breath of a spirit saying, "My son." Years passed. Their son, Chidera, grew into a handsome, humble young man. Each time he smiled, Nena would whisper, "You resemble your papa when him still get innocent heart." Olisa would laugh, shaking his head. "Make the boy no get my stubbornness a beg." They lived simply, avoiding the noise of wealth that once almost destroyed them. The mansion in the village remained standing, a reminder of pride and pain, but now, it was filled with laughter again. One evening, during Harmattan, Olisa sat by the balcony of the mansion. The stars were out, bright and clear. Nena came out with a shawl and wrapped it around his shoulders. "You still day think?" she asked. "I day reflect," he replied softly. "Life get as e be. Sometimes now your own blood go stab you, but now love still go heal you in the end." She smiled faintly. "You talk true. Mama go happy say peace dawn return." Olisa nodded. "Yes. Peace dawn return, but the scars go always remind us say evil no day profit anyone." He looked up at the sky, his eyes glistening. "May God keep us from the kind of love way destroy family." Epilogue. In Amici, people still talk about the Okafor family. Some say it's a tale of how greed turns to curse, others say it's a reminder that a mother's blessing or curse can shape generations. The elders always end it the same way at the village square. When a person fights his own blood for money, the ground will open to drink tears instead of wine. And so, Olisa and Nena lived quietly, raising their son in peace, while the story of Nkechi, the sister who let envy ruin her, became a warning told to every young wife and brother in the land. Because in the end, blood is blood, but evil no get family name. I hope you enjoyed this story. Please share your thoughts in the comment box. We would love to read them. Please subscribe to this channel and turn on your notifications bell. Don't forget to hit the like button and share with your family and friends. Thank you so much for watching.